Yes, my name is Colonel Malasa Tasama. I'm the Korean War Veterans Association president uh, presently. I have been to Korea during the war in the 2nd Battalion, and the journey was very long. From Addis to Djibouti, we took train, and from there we embarked on the ship, American military ship, named Blatchford. Then we arrived to Busan port. There, your previous President Sigmund Rhee received us, and from there we went to training center. We took some training concerning weapons, and we stayed there for about 1 month under training. And we adopted the climate, and we have been introduced also with the people at that time. When I arrived to Busan, I really, it was my first time, I was very sad to see demolished buildings, and I saw many children crying at the street. They lost their families, and that was very, very sad to see that. So we stayed in that training center for about a month. Then we went to the front line, and we have been deployed to the battlefield. Then we started our mission. Well, as you know, the war is war. There is no mercy for war. We took part, and we participated, and we joined the United Nations forces there. And we received many operation orders. So we have been fighting as fighting patrol and ambush patrol. That was very tiresome. So then, but the most the surprising thing that which made our participation in the war, which made it special, that Ethiopian soldiers never gave up, no war prisoner at all, and we have never left behind our injured soldiers or killed in action. So that was a very special one for us. So we stayed there for about a year, and then we have been replaced by another battalion, and we returned home. When we go to Korea, we received a banner, a special banner, as a war leader. We received that banner from His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie. The troop which has been to Korea was his special bodyguard, the elite force. So that's why maybe we didn't give up, and we have never lost, even in the front line. We never lost the ground. And we have been successfully captured our objectives very proudly. So now the time is too long, everything is forgotten. To me, today, which surprises me, to see the Koreans to visit us after 65 years, that one is a very special one. I consider that the Koreans has given a special consideration to our battalion and to our war veterans, and that makes me proud. And also, you know, when we have been to Korea, as I told you at the beginning, it was very ruined and demolished buildings. We see the children crying at the street. At that time, Korea was a very poor country. This is the true story I can tell you now. At that time, Ethiopia was better than Korea. But after 65 years, Korea is now among the very civilized country, and I think it is 10th or 11th developed countries now. Now that makes us proud, not the Koreans proud of that, because it is we, the Ethiopians, who proud more than Koreans, because we gave our lives not for nothing. Now at this time when we see Korea developed, it is we who can be happy. Yeah, that you tell to all Koreans that we are more happy than the other Koreans.
Can you explain a little bit about the battalions? How many, you know, why were they called the Kagnu Battalion? How many were there? How many were in each battalion? How many in total went to the war? I know even after the Armistice, you stayed. Ethiopians, the battalion stayed. Like for example, Colonel Estafanos, he went after the Armistice. You know. So can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, altogether, the Ethiopian forces has been to the battlefield about 600, more than 600 something. And among this, 122 died, no prisoner at all, no lost in action, and that makes the Ethiopian force special. And you know, as I told you, this is the elite force. We were very much trained here in Ethiopia also before going to Korea. So that's why our participation is very special at that time. When we arrived there, we were very young officers. We went to Korea soon after our graduation. We graduated in April 11. We left for Korea April 12 or 13, like that. At that time, we were about, our age was between 21 and 22. I myself have been to Korea when I was 22. You can see my, there is my picture in the museum. When you see I'm very tiny. That's the story.
You were all kids. And did you all volunteer, or were you drafted?
I beg your pardon?
Did you volunteer, or who went?
Yes, I can say volunteer. Yes. All of them are volunteer because, you know, it was very sad. The Ethiopian situation almost the same like Korea. You know, at the beginning of the Second World War, we have been invaded by Italians So at that time, when we appealed to not United Nations, but there is one organization. So at that time, His Imperial Majesty appealed to that organization. They did not give attention to his appeal. So we have been invaded by Italians. So when we have been asked or ordered to go to Korea, because we are volunteer, because our situation was the same like Korea. So we give priority to save lives of the illegally invaded countries and to save lives of the oppressed people.
Mm-hmm. So a total of, I believe, 6,000 Ethiopians served from 1951 to 1964. Can you tell us a little bit about the battalion that stayed after the armistice?
After?
The armistice?
After armistice, yeah. After armistice, we returned home, and we started our usual work. So we returned to our unit after armistice. So in between, as you read the story, our country was overthrown the Emperor Haile Selassie, and the communist regime was at that time. But at that communist regime, we were hated by that regime because we have been fighting with the communist invaders. So this communist regime, so then they hate us. They don't like to see even our face. We existed only that we were Ethiopians. If we had been foreigners, we have been all went out from Ethiopia by force.
Yeah. So, tell us about the story of the fence.
Oh.
With Grandpa Malesi and the Korean soldier.
Malis?
And the Korean soldier. Tell us that story.
Well, really, incidentally, I have been alongside with the Korean outpost. I was from the right side, and from the left side was the Korean outpost. They were brave fighters. Really, even I admire them. They were brave fighters. They were never afraid. They were never retreat. And I saw them. We were very close to each other. So I saw them. They were very brave fighters. Because they are defending their countries. They are giving their lives for the country. Therefore, so, they are giving their life for their independence. Therefore, maybe that's why they are best fighters.
Oh no, tell us the story about the fence.
The fence?
Yes.
Which fence?
When the blood brother, the blood.
Okay, when we have been there once upon a time, the Korean service team came in the front line to strengthen the front line, the defense line. So they were fencing with barbed wire to strengthen the front line. So at that time they were fencing during the night. So at that time the enemy heard the noise when they hammer. Then they fired mortar fire. And that mortar fire exploded among the service team, the Korean service team. And the explosion killed some of the Koreans and injured some of them also. The injured ones was shouting to asking for help. So the Ethiopian soldiers went out from their defensive position and they tried to save the lives of those injured before dying, to give aid. So at that time, it was only the Ethiopian soldiers went out from their defensive position, from the bunker, and tried to save the lives of the injured Koreans. So the second round came and exploded, but one of the Ethiopian soldiers who carried the wounded Korean, the second explosion killed both, clasping each other. And they died together. And probably they were also graved in the same coffin, maybe. Yeah. This is now our relationship between Korea and Ethiopia is not like others. We have a blood relationship. That's why we use this word. Still we use, and even we use for forever.
Yes. So that's why you're my grandpa. Yes. Thank you so much.
That's the story of. His name is Mallasa. He's bearing my name.
We saw the grave. Yes.
Mallasa Dariun.
What was the name of the Korean?
Really, it is difficult for me, and even now I cannot call the name of the Koreans. It's difficult.
Yes, and you returned, you said, to Korea. So can we talk about your role as the president of the Veterans Association? What do you do? How often do the veterans meet? When was the memorial built? Can you share?
It's not clear for me, your question.
You're the president of the association.
Yes.
What does the association do? How many members are there? How often do you meet? There's a memorial at the park. When was it built? I think the Korean government donated, right? So can you share with us that information?
The story of our association. Our association has been established in 1971, I think.
31? After the war.
After the war, yes. This is after the war, yeah.
1961.
Our association established after the war.
Yeah, so 60.
Because during the communist regime, we cannot establish, and we have never established because we have been refused to establish our association. So after this government came, they permitted us to establish our association.
What year?
No, about 24, 25 years ago, we have established our association, and now I am the second president of our association. Since I have been elected, it is now 7 years since my election. So within 7 years, our association is built just to help each other and to maintain the story of the Korea War and the relation between Korea and Ethiopia. So now we are doing that. Within this period, we received, after we have established our association, many Koreans came and visit us. So during this time, they give us a lot of help because during the communist regime, you cannot do anything. We were very poor, as you know, and even not only us, but also Ethiopia, due to drought, we came very poor, and were in very catastrophic condition. So even though it is worse than for Korean veterans. So all the country was under poverty at that time. Today we are better than ever. So now, since we established our association, as you know, as you have seen also, it is the mayor, since the EPRDF has been controlled Ethiopia, the first mayor, he went to Korea for visit. He has been to Chinchon. You know the story why this monument, the same monument, is in Chinchon, because Chinchon, it was our battalion who controlled that place at the first time, because the place was very strongly defended by the communists. It was Kanyo battalion who controlled that area. So then the Chinchon people gave this importance to Kanyo, and they built that monument there. So the same kind of monument is built here. Now, as I told you, the first mayor after the EPRDF went to Chinchon and has seen that monument, and he signed a sisterhood agreement and came and gave this place to Korean veterans as a memorial. Then this monument is built by the contribution of the Chinchon people and the Korean government. Since then, we have been celebrating our memorial days every year in April, because we left Ethiopia for Korea in April. So that we have chosen this month as a memorial. Since then, we have been celebrating every year. And this year also, I don't know, maybe 21 or 21st, 22nd April, we are going to celebrate.
What do you do to celebrate? What happens?
Well, you know, we invite guests and we make a speech. We lay wreath in the monument, and we give also luncheon. All these are by sponsorship. We can get also. And mostly the Korean embassy help us.
Oh, today we saw Ephraim and the descendants of Korean War veterans. Now they volunteer for the association, you know, sons and daughters, and they work for the association to help. Can you explain about why they started to get involved and what you hope from them?
From the descendants, you mean? Well, of course, now you know we are all old now. Maybe we are passing now, you know. So the story should not be passed. So this story should be kept by the following regimes. So we pass this story to the present descendants, and they also pass to their children. So the story will remain, the story of relation between Korea and Ethiopia will remain for indefinite time. So that's the main purpose. We want not to the story should not be forgotten.
How many veterans are living right now, and how many maybe widows and descendants are part of the association?
Presently? Well, it's difficult to know the number of the children, and you know the widows. Difficult to know that, but we definitely know. We can precisely tell the number of veterans who are alive. But maybe the widows, I can tell it was just guessing about 1,000. About 1,000 widows may be present. But the children are, because soldiers always like to have many children, So therefore, it's difficult to tell you exactly the number of the descendants.
But they are welcome to participate in the association.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have been trying to find many times. Before the present ones, I tried about 3 times. Now, the last ones, they are successful and they are very volunteer. Mm-hmm. They don't ask for any payment. They work voluntarily. They are young people. They have better ideas than us. They have better physical condition. So they are now trying to improve the association's memorandum.
Yeah, so I met 3 of them today, and we had lunch together. Yes. We had a lot of fun. It was very good to see young people respect the memory and honor their, your contributions, and to carry the legacy. Because, like you said, it's important that they carry it, they pass it on to their children indefinitely, because many other associations around the world, that's their number one concern. What do we do when, the veterans are no longer there? What happens, And for Ethiopian Korean War veterans to have already descendants part of the association it's very good,
Yeah, we thanks to the Korean people and the government of Korea and some NGOs of Korea, such like Well Together, they give scholarship privilege to many descendants, and the the Korean government also is giving pension allowance to veterans. Now, those who are privileged of getting the free scholarship, and these descendants are from among them, so they do understand our problem, and they are 100% volunteer to assist us. Now, we also rely on them now.
That's wonderful. And lastly, you visited Korea. When was the last time you went to Korea?
Myself? Mm-hmm. I think about a year ago.
1 year ago?
1 year ago, yeah.
Oh,
even less than a year.
2016?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have been several times to Korea, about 5-6 times after the war.
And I'm sure they greet you with so much thanks and love, and right? They treat you very well, I hope, right?
Yeah.
And when you go, do you go with other Ethiopian veterans?
Oh yes, yes. I go always with the other veterans, and even I have they invited me with my children, and 2 of my children have been there, and my 2 grandchildren also have been to Korea.
Wow. And
one also is still there now. She left us recently for scholarship. She's, Korea, and the universities of Korea Hankook University, do you know? Yes, my granddaughter is there now. She attended about a month ago. She's still there. I received a call this morning from her.
Oh, one last story. Why is your nickname Kim?
Pardon me?
Your nickname.
Okay, my nickname. You know, there was, during the war, there was a famous fighter, Marshal Kim. He was a famous fighter. So I also, when I was in Korea, I have been several times to patrol action. And I made many actions. I engaged many times by communist forces. So then my course mates, they gave me this name. They gave me his name to call me as a nickname, Marshal Kim.
Marshal Kim.
Yeah, because he was a very brave fighter, and they call me also he's very brave fighter, so we have to give this name to him. That's why they call me Marshal Kim.
Well, like you said, Koreans and Ethiopians are blood brothers, and I'm very glad to be here to meet my grandpa and my Ethiopian brothers. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your contribution.
I thank you also. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.